Welcome back everyone, it's your boy Carolina Goji 1954 here. Today, literally an hour ago, FanFest literally just ended. And well, overall, some of our guys didn't show up today or practice today. And admittedly, all of our quarterbacks did struggle a bit today, especially Baker Mayfield. But nonetheless, everyone had fun. Everyone had a great time at FanFest, and I guess that's all that matters. So if you were at FanFest today, really hope you had a great time. But in this video, we're going to be discussing a little bit about what we learned from training camp. Are we good to go, or do we still have work to do? Should we pay attention to these preseason games, or should we just not give a shit about them? Well, with that being said everyone, let's begin. First things first, let's talk about our offensive line. Specifically our left tackle situation between Ikem Ekwonu and Brady Christian. Matt Rule still has not named the starter for left tackle, and while both Icky and Brady are both athletic, it's still pretty strange how Icky, a top 10 draft pick, still hasn't been named a starter for the left tackle spot and has also been moved around in different positions. Just like everyone knows, according to the depth chart that was released recently, everyone's been mixed around in weird places. They even got Matt Corral as a 4th string quarterback, which is ridiculous. There's no way Sam Darnold or PJ Walker is better than Matt Corral. There's just no fucking way. No disrespect, but come on. But anyways, it's really good that we actually have options for left tackle, whether it's Brady or Icky. This whole offensive line overall has been improved majorly compared to last season, which last season we pretty much just picked random players to play the positions, and well, that was pretty much the main situation that got us killed last season. So really good to see that we're putting more effort into this offensive line, which we desperately needed. Now let's talk about our tight ends. As you know, 3 of our tight ends were injured and we were running short on tight ends. So earlier today we signed tight ends Ryan Ezu and Nate Becker. So not the best tight ends ever, but at least we were able to resolve our tight end issue, at least for now. But now let's hit on to our defense. Our cornerbacks have been performing awesome during training camp. JC Horn, CJ Henderson did magnificent work. Frankie Louvu also performed magnificent. But JC Horn is definitely going to have a breakout season, I can tell you that. Our defensive ends, other than Brian Burns, who has also been performing pretty well, has been pretty neutral, as well as our linebackers. But our defensive linemen, our weak spot from last season, yes, we had the second best defense, but overall we just could not stop the run game, which made our defensive line our most vulnerable spot on defense. And during training camp, they were pretty neutral as well. However, this is something we should really keep an eye out for during our game against the Commanders this weekend for our first week of preseason. But we'll talk more about that in a little bit. So now let's get on to our running backs. Christian McCaffrey seems to be pretty healthy lately, and he confirms that he's currently at his best. And not to mention, our other running backs such as Chuba Hubbard are also rock solid. So nonetheless, even if McCaffrey gets injured, we have options. And not to mention, now that we have Baker Mayfield and Matt Corral, we won't be as dependent on Christian McCaffrey, so that'll greatly reduce the risk of getting McCaffrey worn out and injured as well. So now let's talk about Matt Rule. Obviously, he's definitely looking his best compared to previous seasons. Although some of the things he did during training camp was pretty questionable, such as making our guys run laps after a touchdown celebration. But nonetheless, behind this greatly improved coaching staff, he has the potential to turn his whole career around, and I'm definitely rooting for Matt Rule to do so. And now, let's talk about our quarterbacks. The quarterback competition still is not over, but Baker Mayfield definitely has the lead, especially with all the reps he's been getting, as well as Matt Corral barely having any. But I can guarantee you, if the QB competition was between Matt Corral and Baker Mayfield, things would definitely be very, interesting to say the least. And yes, I am Team Corral. I'm rooting for Matt Corral. And how? Matt Corral is definitely more competitive and more determined than Baker Mayfield. However, he's a rookie, so admittedly, Baker Mayfield is most likely going to win the starting job, which I'm perfectly fine with. Just because I'm Team Corral doesn't mean I want Baker to fail. He's a Carolina Panther. I root for all of our guys to succeed, and Baker Mayfield is definitely the better quarterback between him, PJ Walker, and Sam Darnold. It's just facts. So overall, as much as I want Matt Corral to win the starting job, Baker Mayfield definitely has the lead and will most likely win the starting job. So overall, after training camp, I am more satisfied with the team than I was last season. However, I'm still not fully satisfied yet. So now, let's talk about the preseason games coming up. So week 1 against the Washington Commanders. We definitely need to keep an eye out for this one. Because during FanFest today, Matt Rule confirmed that each quarterback will play a series against the Commanders. So for this game, we're mostly going to be figuring out where we are as a team. We're going to be mixing up players here and there, both offense and defense, which will greatly reduce the risk of injuries, and we'll also figure out where we are as a team and what positions need to be fixed. And so after week 1, we can always go into free agency or trade for someone in case we have to, because our next game against the Patriots, we're actually going to have joint practices, and then after that game we should know who our starting quarterback is going to be, which again would most likely be Baker Mayfield. And yeah, week 3 against the Bills, we're going to practice some more, and yeah, after all that's done, in case we have to, we can use our cap space money and free agency in case we have to find someone to fill any spots. And yeah, overall, I like the idea of mixing up our players for these preseason games because it definitely reduces the risk of injuries, and I definitely don't want any of our starters to get injured during these preseason games. I want our guys to be in top shape for when the actual season starts. However, I also want our guys to be in top shape when the season starts, so mixing up our players for these preseason games could affect the amount of practices our guys will be having. So at the end of the day, only time will tell what's gonna happen. But like I said, we definitely need to pay attention to these preseason games. And that is gonna wrap up this video. So before I go, I'd like to let you guys know that tomorrow I will be going to my college for the very first time for this meeting I have to go to. So I'm probably gonna do a little mini vlog and upload it tomorrow for you guys, so you guys have some more content. And yeah, with that being said, you guys, what are your thoughts on the Carolina Panthers so far? Are we good to go, or do we still have work to do? Let me know down in the comments below. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and or subscribe. Y'all have a good day and keep pounding.
Stand and cheer for the Panthers in our grand old name. Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina.